Hello guys, me KMaster29, and today in this video, sorry about the intro again, we're gonna be reading Five Nights at Freddy's to Twisted Ones. Now, if you want to get a free sample for this, on iOS or Android or something, you can buy it now on, Google Play Books or something. But we're only gonna read chapter 1 today. This video might be long, so, go get some popcorn or something. Alright, so Five Nights at Freddy's The Twisted Ones. Created by Scott Cawthon and Kira Breed Risley. That's just copyright. Is that actually intents are either a product of the author images or used any resources at the person living or dead business or something. Okay, so okay, there we go. That's alright. Chapter 1. Don't trust your eyes. Dr. Treadwell walked back and forth across the platform as in front of the auditorium. Her steps were slow and even almost hypotonic. Never heard of that word before. Your eyes deceive you every day, filling blanks for you and word sensory of the overload. And image dizzy geometric detail lit up Kedvel screen behind her. When I say sensory overload, I mean that quite literally. At every moment, your senses are receiving far more information than they can process all at once. Your mind is forced to choose which signals to pay attention to. It is not based on your experience and your expectation of what is normal. The things we are familiar with are things we can, for the most part, ignore. We see this most easily with olfactory faculty. Your nose ceases to perceive a smell when you've been around for a while. You may be quite thankful for this phenomenon, depending on the habits of your roommate. The class to this I fully. What kind of words are these? Never heard of these words. Then it became quiet as the image of another multicolored design flashed onto the screen. The professor gave a hint of a smile and continued. Your mind creates emotion when there is none. It fills in colors and trajectories based on what you've seen before. A calculus what you should be seeing now. Another image flashed onto overhead screen. If your mind didn't go to this, please simply walking outside and seeing a tree would consume all your mental energy, leaving no resources to do anything else. In order for you to function in the world, your mind fills in the spaces of that tree with its own leaves and branches. Hundreds of pencils scribbled all at once, filling lectures hall with a sound like scurrying mice. Why, when you enter the house for the first time, you experience a moment of dizziness. Your mind is taking in more than usual. It's a drawing a floor plan, creating a palette of colors, and saving an inventory of images to draw on later, so you don't have to go through the exhausting intake every single time. The next time you enter the same house, you'll already know where you are. Charlie, an urgent voice whispered her name inches from her ear. Charlie kept writing. She was staring straight ahead at the display at the front of the lectures hall. As Dr. Treadwell went on, she paced faster. obsessively, flinging an arm towards the screen to illustrate her points. Her words seemed to be falling behind as her mind raced on ahead. Charlie realized by the second day of class, the professor sometimes broke off the middle of one sentence, only to finish an entirely different one. It's like she skimmed to the next in her head, reading out a few words. Her and there, most of the students in her robotics class found it maddening, but Charlie liked it. It made lesson kind of like doing a puzzle. The screen flashed again, displaying assortments of mechanical parts, a diagram of an eye. This is what you must recreate. Dr. Treadwheel stepped back from the image, turning to look at with the class. Basic artificial intelligence is all about sensory control. You won't be dealing with a mind that can figure these things out for itself. You must design programs for recognized basic shapes while discarding you unimportant information for you. You must do for your robot and what your own mind does for you. Create a simplified and organized assembly of information based on what's relevant. Let's start by looking at some examples of basic shape recognition. Charlie hissed the voice again, and as she waved her pencil imperatively at the figure peering over her shoulder, her friend Artie tried to shoo him away. The gestures cost her a moment and put her half step behind the professor. She hurried to catch up. Obnoxious, do not miss a single line. The paper in front of her was covered in formulas, notes, in the Margaret's sketches and diagrams. She wanted to get everything down all at once, not just the math, but all the things it made her think of. If she could be tied the new facts to things that she already knew, she retained it much more easily. She felt hungry for it, alert, watching for new tidbits of information, like a dog under a dinner table. A boy near the front seat raised his hand to ask a question, and Charlie felt brief flare in the plec. Now the whole class would have to stop while Treadwheel went back to explain a concept. Charlie let her in her mind wondering sketches absently in the margins of her notebook. John would be here in. She glanced restlessly and at her watch. An hour. I told him maybe someday we'll see each other again. I guess it's someday. He had called out of the blue. I'm just going to be passing through, he said, and Charlie hadn't bothered to ask how he knew where she was. Of course, he would know. There was no reason to meet him, and she found herself eternally excited, filled with dread, now as she assembly sketched a rectangular form along the bottom of her note paper. Her stomach jumped. A little spasm of nerves. It felt like a lifetime since she last saw him. Sometimes it felt like she seen him yesterday, as if the last year hadn't passed. But of course everything had to change for Charlie once again. That May, the night of her 18th birthday, the dreams had begun. Charlie was accustomed to nightmares, the worst moment of her past force, up like a mile, into twisted versions of memories already too terrible to recall. She summed these dreams into back of her mind in the morning. She sealed them away, knowing they would only reach it when night fell again. These dreams were different. When she woke, she physically exhausted, not drained but sore. Her muscles were weak, her hands were stiff and attaching, like they'd been clenched into fists for hours. These new dreams didn't come every night, but they did. They interrupt her regularly. The nightmares and took them over. It didn't matter if she was running and screaming for her life or wandering aimlessly through a dull mishmash of various places. She'd been all week. Suddenly, from nowhere, she would sense him. Sammy, her lost twin brother, was near. She knew his presence in the same way she knew that she was present. And whatever the dream was, it dropped away. People, places, light, and sound. Now she was searching for him. The darkness called his name. He never answered. She would drop to her hands and knees, feeling her way through the dark, letting his presence guide her. She came to a barrier. It was smooth and cold, metal. She wouldn't see it, but she hit it hard with one fist and it echoed. Sammy, she would call, hitting harder. She stood, reaching up if she could scale the slick surface, but it stretched up far above her head. She beat her fist against the barricade until they hurt. She screamed her brother's name until her throat was raw, until she fell to the floor and leaned on the solid metal, pressing her cheek to its cold surface, and hoping for a whisper from other side. He was there. She knew it has surely as it been were a part of herself. She knew in those dreams that he was present. Worse, she was awake. She knew he was not here. In August, Charlie and Aunt Jen had their first fight. They would always been too distant to really argue. Charlie never felt to rebel because Jen provided no real authority, and Jen never took anything Charlie did personally. Never tried to stop her from doing anything as long as she was safe. The day Charlie moved with her at the age of 7, Aunt Jen had told her plenty that she was not a replacement for Charlie's parents. By now, Charlie was old enough to understand that Jen hadn't meant it. A gesture of respect, a way to reassure Charlie that her father wouldn't be forgotten, that she would always be his child. But at that time, it had seemed like an admonishment. Don't expect parenting, don't expect love, and Charlie hadn't. Jen had never failed to care for Charlie. Charlie had never wanted for food or clothing, and Jen had taught her to cook and to take care of the house, to manage her money, and to fix her, own a car. You haven't been independent, Charlie. You have new you have to know how to take care of yourself. You have to be stronger than she cut herself off. But Charlie knew how the sentence ended. Then your father. Charlie shook her head, trying to jerk her, herself free of her own thoughts. What's wrong? Artie said next to her. Nothing, she whispered. She ran her pencil again and over, the same lines up and over and down, over graphite, whirring thicker and thicker. Charlie had to tell Jed that she was going back to the hurricane, and Jed's face turned stony. Her skin pallid. Why would you want to do that? She asked with a dangerous calm in her voice. Charlie's heart beat faster because that's where I lost him. Because I need him more than I need you. The thought of returning had been nagging at her for months, growing stronger with each passing week. One morning she woke up and the choice was made, final sitting in her mind with a solid weight. Jessica's going to college, St. George, she told her aunt. She's starting to summer semester, so I can stay with her while I'm there. I want to see the house again. There's still so much I don't understand. It feels important. She finished weakly, fluttering as Jen, dark blue like marble, fix on her. Jen didn't answer for a long moment. Then she said simply, "No, why not?" Charlie might once have said, You let me go before, but after what happened last year when she and Jessica and the others went back to Freddy's and discovered the horrifying truth emerged at her father's old pizzeria. Things have changed between them. Charlie had changed. Now she met Jen's gaze determined. I'm going, she said, trying to keep her old voice steady. When everything exploded, Charlie didn't know which of them started shouting first, but she screamed until her throat was fiery and sore, hurling at her on every pain. She'd every inflict, every hurt she failed to prevent. Jen shouted back that she only meant to care for Charlie, that she'd always done her best, flinching and reserved words that somehow dripped with poison. I'm leaving, Charlie screamed. With fatality, she started for the door, but Jen grabbed her arm, yanking violently back. Charlie stumbled, almost falling before she caught herself on the kitchen table, and Jen let her hands drop with shocked expression. There was silence, and then Charlie left. She packed a bag, feeling as if she had somehow diverged from reality into an impossible parallel world. Then she got in the car and drove away. She didn't tell anyone she was going to. She was going. Her friends, her was not close friends. There was no one she owed to explain when Charlie got to the hurricane. She intended to go straight to his father's house to stay for the next few days until Jessica arrived on campus. But as she reached the city limits, something stopped her. Wait, I can't, she thought. I can never ever go back. She turned the car around, drove straight to St. George, and slept in the car for a week. It was only after Charlie knocked And Jessica opened the door, started expression with Charlie, realized that she was never actually mented her plans to Jessica. On one they all depended. She told her everything, and Jessica hastily before offered to let her stay. Alright guys, so my throat is getting a little bit dry, just like how Charlie is. But if you guys want me to read the rest of chapter 1, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and yeah, and comment out what you thought about the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Now, before we leave, I just want to check if there's any any pictures other than writing. Nope, it looks like words that I'm gonna read for the next few hours. Let's see, until it goes to chapter 2, I'm gonna stop. There's so many chapters in this. That's why Scott was spending his time making this book for everyone. Alright, doesn't seem like there's nothing yet. Unless I pass. Oh, chapter 2. Alright, there's no images of anything. Really. It just says chapter 2. Yeah, nothing. Alright. So, chapter 2, well, first of all, no. Chapter 1, that the wild fish right now, I didn't really finish it, but I'll get back to it. So, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, like and subscribe, comment down what you thought about the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone. Oh, and don't forget, this week is Five Nights at Freddy's week, so the only thing I'll be recording is Five Nights at Freddy's, unless you guys want me to record something else other than Five Nights at Freddy's. But, if you want to see that, do what I just said, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.